Alrighty. I want to make sure that... Alright. Looks like we are live. Maybe? There we go. Alright, before we start talking about anything, for those of you who are here, I'll give people a second to get in here. Send this out to Discord and all. Let's see. Should be interesting tonight, the NBA Draft Lottery. Alright. I'm not looking at the chat right now, so if anybody's saying anything in the chat, I'll see that in just a second. And we'll get everything started. We got a lot to look at today. Of course, you saw the title and all. Live reaction to the NBA Draft Lottery. So this one should be a lot of fun. It should be pretty interesting. Not really sure what to expect, and we'll look at some stuff. Before we get into this thing. It's gonna start a little bit after 8:30 Eastern time, so that gives us about 10 minutes to chat before the lottery actually begins. But we're gonna be talking about it. So this is kind of what you're going to see, I guess, for this lottery. So you've got the pick tracker over here, and then this links to tankathon.com, which has a lottery simulator, and it shows all the odds for each pick and everything. So it's kind of cool. So we'll check that out. And unfortunately, the stream is really delayed. So you guys aren't going to be hearing my reactions until after, until way after the pick is, I guess, chosen. And I can't remember how fast they go, so I don't really know what to expect here. I can't remember how fast they go for the lottery. But you know, we're gonna have a bunch of fun. Should be pretty interesting. I don't really have a favorite NBA team, so I'm not really rooting for anybody to do well or not do well tonight. I mean, I feel bad for teams like the Pistons up there that have been bad for so long. So maybe it'd be kind of cool to see somebody like the Pistons get the first pick. And they are one of the three teams. Actually, we're going to go ahead and pull this up. So, where are we? All right, so Detroit, they are one of the three teams with a 14% chance of getting the first overall pick. Tied with Houston and tied with Orlando for the most. Oklahoma City at 11.5. As is Cleveland, which is kind of interesting. I feel like that'd be kind of interesting. And then if Minnesota is first overall, then Minnesota gets the pick. Actually, yeah, I think Minnesota... Why is it not showing the... Alright, it's protected 1 through 3. Okay. And then this Orlando-Chicago pick is also a pick sort of to watch. So this one's protected 1 through 4. So Orlando probably going to get that pick. But there's a chance that Chicago could rise and keep the pick. And there's a chance that Minnesota's pick goes to Golden State. And then you have Golden State's original pick down here. They're probably going to stay at 14. I mean, the chances of them moving up are just so slim. And I believe there are a couple things down here that could be affected potentially by the results of today, but it's nothing really to watch. I probably won't stay live for any of the Clippers Suns matchup, but you never know. We might be live for that a little bit. But I guess this will be starting in a few. So let me know in the live chat who you guys think is going to win the lottery. Personally, I kind of expect it to be Oklahoma City. 4 coming into the lottery typically seems like a pretty good spot to be in. So I think Oklahoma City is going to have a pretty solid chance in this one to at least move up. I think they'll definitely stay in the top 4, but I think they actually have a really good shot at number 1. Having the top odds. So Houston, Detroit, and Orlando doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the top pick. It just pretty much means that you have the best chances of getting the top pick. So, and I forgot about the Houston pick. All right, so if Houston's pick is outside the top 4, it's going to go to. If Houston's pick is outside the top 4, it's going to go to Oklahoma City. So they've been picking up all those picks. You see here Boston, Miami, and then if this pick falls, which I think there's a decent chance it could, being the first overall pick, there's a decent chance that this Houston pick could fall. And if it falls down here, then it could become Oklahoma City's pick. And that would be really big because they're keeping their own pick, especially if they're able to move up and still get Houston's pick. That'd be huge. What's up, CRC? I'm excited for tonight. Should be very, very interesting. And I guess we're going to do a couple simulations. So simulating the lottery. Okay, so Cleveland got the top pick. And, of course, it's just kind of randomized, the simulation, but it gives us something fun to look at. So here's that scenario that we were talking about. So Houston fell outside the top 4, so its pick goes to Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City keeps their own pick. So they get 5 and 7. They slide a little bit, but they are able to double up. And then because Minnesota fell to 8, that pick goes to Golden State, and Chicago was not able to move up, so that pick goes to Orlando. And that's a nice thing I like about Simulator. It shows you the scenarios. Minnesota, they have to be top 3. Yeah, so Minnesota has to be top 3, I guess, or it goes to Golden State here. Let's resimulate it. So yeah, Minnesota, they've got to move up, and then you see here Chicago, they don't move up, so that pick goes to Orlando, and then Houston, young boy's not gonna get drafted. But here we go. I guess about 3 minutes left until it's officially time for the lottery to start. Don't know when it'll actually start, but hopefully soon. So Golden State here, they have a chance to have 2 picks. Oklahoma City has a chance to have 2 picks. Orlando has a chance to have 2 picks. I don't think there's anybody else. I'm pretty sure there is not anybody else on here that has the potential to move up. And of course, we could see trades happen before the draft as well that sees teams move up. But the chances of that maybe aren't super high. But it definitely could happen. You never know. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the top prospects in this year's draft. Of course, the draft itself is not tonight. And I want to make sure that all you guys know that. The draft itself is not tonight. This is just the lottery determining the order of the top 14 picks. And, it's really crucial. There's some really good prospects here in this year's draft. So Cade Cunningham, clear-cut number 1 prospect, freshman point guard out of Oklahoma State. So he's kind of the clear-cut number 1. And he's a very good player, without a doubt. So whoever gets the first pick, probably drafting Cade unless it's a team like Charlotte. But the chances of them moving up are just so slim. But unless it's a team like Charlotte, because they already have LaMelo. Just looking for anybody who wouldn't draft Cade. I think Cleveland, they could, move some pieces or whatever. I mean, Golden State, I don't know. If Golden State has the first pick, which is super unlikely because that pick goes to Minnesota if it's up here in the top 3, I just don't really see. I don't know, because, they could draft Cade, but with Clay coming back, and of course you have Steph Curry, you could go Evan Mobley as well. 7-foot freshman out of USC. I don't know about Golden State. I'm not really sure what they would do. Cade's just such a talented player, though, but so is Mobley. You definitely can't go wrong with drafting Evan Mobley. Sacramento, it'd be kind of weird, but I think they'd still go with Cade. Yeah, there aren't really many teams that wouldn't draft in number 1. Sacramento would be interesting, though. And I kind of feel bad for the Kings. I kind of want to see them jump up. They made a good pick, though, last year, taking Tyrese Halliburton towards the end of the lottery. They got some good value for him, so that was kind of nice to see, seeing them make a good pick. And I guess we're getting started in a few minutes. So I guess let me know in the live chat who you think is going to get the first pick and potentially have the chance to draft Cade Cunningham, because he seems to be the top prospect in this year's class. Of course, the efficiency isn't amazing, but I wouldn't really worry about that too much. I don't think that Cade's efficiency is really something to worry about. I would like to see him improve as a facilitator. But other than that, I don't really think that there's too much to worry about with Cade. I don't think so. I don't think so, AJ. Probably not. I'm calling it Hornets getting #1 pick. Hey, that would be really interesting to see. And I'm honestly not sure what they would do with LaMelo already there. I'm not sure how Cade would really fit in. I could see it. I mean, they're all the way down here at 11. Sure, it would be super unlikely, but weird stuff happens in the lottery. I agree with you, AJ. I do think that the Thunder will end up getting the pick, the #1 overall pick, but you never know. They seem to be in a pretty good position, though. Here, let's go ahead and reset this so you guys can see the odds coming in. So once again, I'm not entirely sure when the lottery will actually officially begin, and we'll start to reveal the picks. But it is 8:30 right now, Eastern Time. So we're getting started, I guess, in just a second. And either at the end of this week or maybe sometime next week, I will have a lottery-only mock draft coming soon. Of course, now that we'll have the draft order set, I do want to do a mock draft. It'll actually be my first NBA mock draft since last year, so it'll be kind of interesting for you guys to see where I have people landing. If they don't, I can see the Raptors, Pistons, or Rockets. Honestly, I kind of think the Raptors are a team to watch. 7, that's a range where I think it's fairly easy to climb and not necessarily fall. Below them, there are a bunch of teams that are going to jump them. I can see Toronto getting into top 4, honestly. I think Toronto is a team to watch, and I think that Toronto and Oklahoma City, I think, both have a decent chance. If Houston falls, it could really, really get interesting, especially if Oklahoma City is able to jump Houston, and Houston comes down here, then Oklahoma City potentially getting 2 top 10 picks. Well, the chances of getting 2 top 10 picks are insanely high. If Houston were to fall at all. So Houston has to fall outside of the top 4 for that pick to go to Oklahoma City once again. So if Houston stays in the top 4, it's Houston's pick. If they land anywhere else, 5 to 14, that pick goes to Oklahoma City. And they're keeping their pick no matter what. So there's a chance. And then the Magic get Chicago's pick unless they're able to hop some people, head to the top 4. And Minnesota, they have to get top 3 to keep this pick. So Minnesota, it's going to be tough for Minnesota to hold on to their pick. They're going to have to jump some teams, but I think they have a decent chance. They have to get up there, though. So it's going to be tough for the Timberwolves. So, AJ, my prediction is Thunder, Rockets, Pistons, Magic, Cavs, Pistons. I think that'd be, I think that's fairly realistic. I don't know. I feel like somebody in this top 5 has to fall, though. Just the chances of all 5 staying in the top 5 are just kind of low. Because chaos always happens at the lottery, so I think somebody's going to have to fall. The chances are just so low. But top 4, so let's see. Yeah, the chances really spike right here. I think New Orleans could potentially jump. Look, I don't like suggesting that the NBA lottery is rigged or anything like that. I don't like suggesting that, but if the New Orleans Pelicans or the Golden State Warriors, I mean, sure, it's realistic to see New Orleans jump a little bit. If Golden State jumps at all, especially if, and we're just talking, like, this is super unrealistic. But, so many people think that, the NBA as a whole is rigged. The NBA draft lottery is rigged. Tonight is a big night. The NBA, they could be looking, because there's so many superstars, and with the way that the NBA is run today, it's easy for superstars to force their way out of town if they don't like where they are. So, Zion, some of his family members, it's been rumored over the past couple days that they're really happy with him in New Orleans. So if New Orleans is able to jump into this top 3 or top 2, which is fairly reasonable, they have a 20% chance of getting in the top 4. I mean, that's 1 out of every 5 lotteries that you're getting in the top 4. So it's fairly realistic, but there's going to be so much speculation if that were to happen. There are already so many people who think that the lottery itself is rigged. And if New Orleans, with what's happening with Zion right now, if they jump up here into 3, I don't know what I just clicked on. If they jump up here into 3 or 2 or 1, people are going to go crazy, and they are not going to be happy, except for Pelicans fans, it is. I definitely agree. That's 3 times. Yeah. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting night, and, unfortunately, somebody is going to go out upset. I guess last year was kind of the Knicks, and the year before they missed out on Zion. Luckily for the Knicks, though, they won some games, and they have 2 first-round picks, actually. They got that pick from Dallas in the Porzingis trade, which is working out really well for New York. So they'll have 2 first-round picks this year, which is, I guess, kind of nice for New York. They can get some more young talent in there. Maybe just some guys. Maybe somebody who can potentially be a contributor at the guard position. And then I don't know what they're going to end up doing with Julius Randle. I expect that we'll get started here in a few minutes. But thank you for those of you who have been hanging out here with me on this stream. Picks revealed in about 10 minutes. So, yeah, they got a countdown on the screen. So we got about 10 minutes until the picks are revealed. I didn't know it would take this long. But, yeah, I've got it up. I've got it up on the TV as well. Let's simulate the lottery. Let's see how long it takes for New Orleans to jump. Hey, there's Toronto jumping. New Orleans staying at 10. There's New Orleans jumping up. Wow, Minnesota got top 3. New Orleans, once again, Chicago all the way up to number 1. That would be crazy. Because then they could get Cade. Maybe trade Kobe White now. But, they can have Cade and Levine in that backcourt. That would be kind of interesting. Here New Orleans stays at 10. Oklahoma City gets that first pick. Minnesota, Chicago. Yeah, it's just kind of fun to look at all these scenarios. There's Golden State that's Golden State getting to number 4. Minnesota's pick is top 3 protected. The Timberwolves have to get in the top 3. So, number 4 goes to Golden State there. That would be a really, really interesting thing to see. Golden State getting a high pick. Toronto jumping again. I definitely think that they're a team to watch. Sacramento, that would be really crazy. New Orleans up here to number 3. San Antonio up to number 4. Golden State gets 9 and 14. Oklahoma City, Detroit, Orlando. Golden State getting that 4th pick again. I'm looking for New Orleans to jump up. What's up, Evan? We're just waiting for the lottery to start. I guess probably 9.5 minutes until we get this party started. But right now we're just simulating stuff. And for those of you who have not yet seen my top 40 NBA draft prospects, well, you'll have to go check out the video. I don't know. Oh, it just hit 1,000 views. That's cool. It's the highest viewed video on the channel. But, I broke down the players a lot more than I'm doing here on this stream. But I'll scroll through it for anybody who hasn't yet seen this list. So this is my top 40 NBA draft prospects. It'll be updated probably within the next month. Let's see. I think the draft, when's the draft? Like the end of July? It'll probably be updated within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So this is my top 40 NBA draft prospects. This is my first list of the year. We'll have one more list coming out towards the end of the year. It'll probably still only be 40, but I may extend it to 60 or something. But it'll probably just stick at 40. And there's a lot of really talented players in this draft. Like, even some of this second round talent, like Trey Mann, I have him ranked at 33, but some people think this guy could be a lottery guy. And to me, that seems a little far-fetched, but, this guy's super talented. Isaiah Todd has some potential. Guy down here like Cam Thomas is a crazy scorer. Johnny Juzang. There's a lot of good talent. Usman Garuba's a guy to watch. Josh Christopher's probably too high. But Usman Garuba is a guy to watch. This guy is an amazing defender. He can guard so many different players. And, his offensive game is not really there, but he's not going to come into the league expected to be a big-time offensive player. But I could see him going maybe before the 20th pick. I think that's fairly realistic. Max Aismas, of course, led Oral Roberts on their great Sweet 16 run. There's a lot of talent in this year's draft. So, I think that's what makes this lottery really interesting is... Here, let's reset this. While you're falling, because somebody's going to fall. While you're falling, I think you're still getting pretty solid talent. I feel like there's a fairly defined top 5. It seems like, just looking at most lists, it seems like there's a fairly defined top 5, and it's these 5 guys right here. You can switch up the order some. Cade seems to be unanimous number 1, but after that, it's kind of mixed up 2 through 5. Scotty Barnes is up there. But, I mean, if you have one of the top teams falling to 7 or 8 or 9, I mean, there's a chance that they could still get a guy like Scotty Barnes. Davion Mitchell's a guy that a lot of people are high on. I think Zaire Williams is maybe not a guy you take a chance on that early, but he's got a lot of upside as a scorer and as a facilitator as well. I like his ability to be a facilitator and make plays in the passing game. But that's not really what this stream is. I guess we'll be getting started fairly soon. I think around 8:45. It's 8:41 right now. Of course, I'm Eastern. So that's that. But hopefully we get this started soon. Thank you guys for sticking around. I didn't think that it'd be so late until we started. I probably wouldn't have started the stream as early. But here we go. Just a few more minutes until we get this lottery started. So we'll have the pick tracker right here. We'll just leave it on the screen for a couple of minutes. But I'm super excited for this lottery to get started. Should be a bunch of fun to see who all is able to jump. And unfortunately for some people, somebody's going to have to fall. So it's going to be tough to see. It's going to be tough to see people fall because, the fans, they have such high expectations. But somebody has to fall. So it's going to be very interesting to see what all happens. And, yeah, I mean, right now we're just kind of waiting. I mean, there are so many people streaming the lottery tonight. So, of course, it's a huge event. And, it's determining who's going to get the top pick in the draft. Kind of important, especially with a guy like Cade Cunningham up there, who's so talented. So I think that this lottery has a chance to be pretty important right here for a lot of teams. A lot of teams up there that are really looking for that franchise star, or teams like the Pelicans who are looking to surround their stars. New Orleans could potentially jump. I could definitely see that happening. Wouldn't surprise me much. But I think we are going to get started here in just a second. Alright, you guys. I'll be right back. Alright. So, looked like around 8:45 is when they're going to get started. About 3 minutes. They put the countdown back up. About 3 minutes until we get this thing started. Kind of slow time before the lottery. I'm excited to see who all is able to land some top picks, who all is able to jump, and unfortunately for some teams, who falls. That's the thing with the lottery. Somebody's always going to have to come out unhappy with how their team finished. But as far as previewing the lottery, these are the current odds. Houston, they have to stay within the top, is it 4 or 5? Okay, they have to stay within the top 4, or this pick goes to Oklahoma City. Detroit, they have 14%, and Orlando 14% to be the first overall pick. Oklahoma City, they have a chance to jump. Cleveland, this Minnesota pick, Minnesota has to get into the top 3, or this pick goes to Golden State. Chicago has to get in the top... Let's see. Chicago has to get in the top 4, or this pick goes to Orlando. So, if Chicago stays where they are, this pick will go to Orlando. But if they're able to jump high enough, it would stay with the Bulls. And then, that's all there is. That's all the potential pick swapping that could happen, I guess. But it should be really interesting to see what all happens here, because there's always so much that could happen on lottery night. It's always super exciting to see what all goes on. But I think we'll be revealing the picks here in just a few minutes. And I probably won't do a video on this because I'll have the live stream up. But as I mentioned earlier on the stream, I'll have a mock draft within the next week or so. It'll be a lottery-only mock draft. It'll be with the new order. And then we got the draft combine coming up. And the NBA draft is on July 29th. So we'll have a couple mock drafts between now and the July 29th draft. So that'll be interesting. You'll have to stay tuned for that with the new draft order. Of course, it'll be being finalized in the playoffs. And speaking of the playoffs, we got Clippers-Suns Game 2 tonight, right after the lottery. I probably won't stay live for it. I probably won't, but it's super, super interesting. And, of course, really important now that we're in the conference finals to win every game. Suns were able to take Game 1, but that was a really, really fun game to watch. So, Phoenix, they're missing Chris Paul. Clippers, of course, Kawhi's been hurt. So that's 2 stars that are missing. But they're still putting on a show, and Game 2 should be really interesting as well. But as I mentioned, I probably won't stay live for that one. But we'll stay live, of course, to see the picks. And I guess be reacting to the picks in this lottery, which looks to be beginning in just a second. Here we go. So Golden State, they are the expected 14th overall pick down here. Indiana, San Antonio, Charlotte. They'll probably all stay the same. But crazy stuff happens. Golden State does get that 14th pick, so they do not move at all. So Golden State not moving at all. They got the 14th pick, so no surprise there that Golden State doesn't move up. At number 13, Indiana. So Indiana also not moving at all. So far, no surprises. No surprises with either pick. San Antonio is at number 12. That's where they were slotted, right? Yep, that's where San Antonio was slotted. So far, no surprises. Charlotte at number 11. Once again, not a surprise to see Charlotte coming in at number 11. Here we go, New Orleans. Do they get the 10th pick, or will they jump? It's going to New Orleans. New Orleans does not move at all. That is very interesting to see the Pelicans not jumping at all with Zion there. So the 10th pick goes to the Pelicans. 9th pick goes to Sacramento. They were supposed to be there, weren't they? Wasn't Sacramento supposed to be there? It is. Now we got the 8th pick, and that is going to Orlando. So that is going to Orlando from Chicago. So far, no surprises. That's really interesting that we haven't seen any surprises, but this has been an interesting lottery. No surprises yet, though. 7th pick is going to Golden State, so they're getting Minnesota's pick. The Warriors, they're getting Minnesota's pick. So far, still nothing. Wait, was Minnesota 6 or 7? Oh, Toronto's going to jump. Toronto's going to be moving up. Uh-oh. Number 6, it's going to be Cleveland. No, Oklahoma City fell. Wow, Oklahoma City falling. Yeah, AJ, the Raptors, they're in the top 5. So they're actually in the top 4, and Cleveland's in the top 4 as well. So 2 top 4 picks solidified, and I can't spell city. The 5th pick is going to the Magic. So the Magic fell out of the top 4. So we've got in the top 4 the Toronto Raptors. They will be picking in the top 4. They were projected at number 7. So the Raptors are going to be up there. The Cavaliers are going to be up there. And then the Rockets and the Detroit, the Pistons, they had the top 2 worst records. Yes, this is the actual lottery. So far, not a lot of surprises, but Toronto jumped. We kind of expected it. There's some speculation that maybe Toronto could jump, and they certainly did. So the Raptors are in the top 4 with the Rockets, Pistons, and the who did I miss? The Cavaliers. So that's a very interesting top 4 that we've got there. Wow. I wasn't really expecting that to be quite as peaceful as it was. Of course, Toronto, once they were able to get past Minnesota, once they were able to get past Minnesota at number 7, we kind of knew that they were going to get all the way up. Yeah, AJ, I noticed that you were streaming. I just haven't really been in the chat there, of course, because I've been running my own stream. But, I would be there and in the chat if I didn't have this going. So, we're down to Houston. Once again, that's Houston, Detroit. Where are we? Cleveland and Toronto jumping from number 7 into the top 4. So, that's really, really interesting. So, it's going to be super fun to see who ends up getting that top pick. It's going to be one of those 4 teams, though. So far, this has been maybe a tad quiet, but still pretty interesting. So, the Pistons, they're there. We could see them make a jump. We could see the Cavaliers. They were projected number 5, so that'd be a little bit of a jump for Cleveland. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot. Wow. I'm a little surprised. I'm definitely surprised that New Orleans didn't jump. Because there was so much speculation that, the NBA was going to rig it and New Orleans was going to jump. But no, none of that. So that's kind of interesting to see, I guess. But now that we're down to the top 4, this is about to get really, really intense and really, really interesting. So now we are down to the top 4 picks. And, this is what it all comes down to. We got 4 teams fighting for 1 spot. So if I had to make a guess, I'm going to say number 4 is Detroit. Number 3 is Cleveland. Number 2 is... I'll say number 2 is Toronto, and I'll say that the Rockets keep the top pick. But that's just me, idiot me, making a guess. I have no clue what it's going to look like. But that's just me making a guess at what I think the top 4 will resolve as. But you see picks 5 through 14 on the screen. That's really interesting to see there. So, Golden State, they were able to double up with Minnesota not jumping. And Oklahoma City, they won't double up because Houston is staying inside that top 4. So, I guess we'll be coming back in just a second for the top 4. And this is about to get really interesting. It goes really quick, but the implications are huge. So, that's why we put so much focus into this. But that's big. Seeing Oklahoma City slide, Orlando sliding. At least Orlando was able to double up, and Chicago didn't jump, though. But nothing really surprising happened until number 7, Toronto didn't get that pick. Yeah, Toronto got into the top 4. I think they're going to be top 2. I think it's going to be them and the Rockets, but that's just, once again, idiot me making a guess. So, here we go. And, yeah, Devin Booker warming up. Yep, we're going right to the Suns-Clippers game after this lottery. I probably won't be streaming for any of that. Maybe a little bit of it, though. Just sort of still reacting to the lottery. Yeah, I guess as a Raptors fan, I mean, you have Fred. I don't think a Cade would be a huge need for the Raptors. But I feel like, yeah, I mean, y'all do need a big man. Bad. I think y'all could use Cade. And I think y'all need Evan Mobley. I'm not really sure where y'all would go, though. I kind of don't want Toronto to have the top pick because then I would actually have to think about who they're going to pick. But if it's the Rockets, the Pistons, or probably the Cavs, I mean, I think they're without a doubt taking Cade. And I think Toronto would probably still take Cade. And then the Cavaliers, they'd probably still take Cade as well. So here we go. Final 4 teams here. Here we go. We got Mark Tatum. And he is going to be revealing these final 4 picks. So here we go. I'm going to get this ready for you guys. The 4th pick goes to the Toronto Raptors. So Toronto eliminated at number 4, but they were able to jump up some. The 3rd pick goes to Cleveland. So Cleveland not there. So it's Houston or Detroit. Houston got the 2nd pick, which means that Detroit, the Pistons, have got the 1st pick, and they are likely going to be landing Cade Cunningham. Wow. All I can really say right now is wow. That's kind of a shocker, I guess, to some extent. Maybe that's a little bit of a surprise to see the Pistons getting that top pick, but they ended up landing. That top pick. That 2nd pick goes to Houston. Wow. So Detroit, they're getting the 1st pick, so they will have Cade Cunningham. I don't think there's any way that they don't draft Cade. The 2nd pick. So the 2nd pick is Houston. I think they'll take Evan Mobley probably. And this is just, once again, me just projecting stuff, not thinking about it at all. Cleveland with the 3rd pick. Probably Jalen Green if I had to guess. I think you can maybe go Kuminga as well. 4th pick, Toronto. Jalen Suggs would be really interesting, honestly. But that's the full draft order right there. So the 1st pick goes to the Pistons. And after that, kind of chaos, I guess, to some extent. Here, I'll take that border off. It's a little annoying. Wow. So that is the draft order. So Houston, they were not able to get that 1st pick, but Cleveland jumped. Toronto jumped into the top 4. They were both eliminated at 3 and 4. And then Detroit beat out Houston for that 1st pick. Wow. Hey, good for Detroit. They need that one guy, and I think Cade can be that. Hopefully for their sake, Cade can be that. All right, I got to read the chat. What's up, Class of Sports? We got 7-14. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Golden State is next year, if Klay comes back fully healthy, they're going to be looking to win a championship. So, those are picks that, while you're not going to get a superstar like a Cade or an Evan Mobley, somebody that can come in right away and be crazy, you can get some players that can be solid contributors. I'm not really coming up with any names right now. I guess we could go look at the list of prospects in a second that the Warriors could maybe target. I mean, I'd like to see y'all take a big man and maybe take a chance on somebody like Kai Jones if he's still there at 14. I'm surprised that Detroit stayed up there. They had the 2nd best odds. It's just always tough. It seems like those top teams always fall. And I guess they did to some extent. Oklahoma City at 6 and Orlando at 5. Hey, Orlando didn't completely sell. They're still getting 2 picks, just neither of them top 4. So at number 7, for Golden State at number 7. So I think these guys go top 5. Ideally, Scotty Barnes. Let's see. Who's picking number 6? Oklahoma City. I think Golden State could potentially get Scotty Barnes at number 7. That's scary to think about. Scotty Barnes on that team. But I honestly think it's fairly realistic. I'm not sure that Oklahoma City would 100% take him at number 6. But I think the top 5 is going to go with these 5 players. And then at number 14, I'd like to see y'all take a big man. Maybe you take a chance on somebody like Kai Jones. And it kind of depends on who you go at 7. But you're not going to have a big man fall. Here, let's go back to the draft order. Wow. Wow is really all I can say right now. That got really interesting really quick. Timberwolves. Wait, what happened to the Timberwolves? Oh, they were with Golden State. I was thinking they were linked with Chicago. That's why I was so confused. Yeah, Timberwolves lost their pick. They had to jump and they weren't able to do it. Got passed by Toronto and they just couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't move. I like the idea of Kai Jones. Yeah, I like the idea of Scotty Barnes and I like the idea of Kai Jones. I didn't even look. Well, you saw me. I mean, I didn't even look at their projections, but I mean, those picks make sense. I think those would be solid picks for y'all. Yeah, CRC, I'd say that top 4 definitely a good accomplishment for the Toronto Raptors. Being slotted at 7, I don't know if I'd want to take Davion Mitchell at number 4. I think at number 4, if I'm the Raptors, I think, and this is assuming that Jalen Green goes number 3, so we'll say that those top 3 go in that order. If I'm the Raptors, I'm probably looking at I don't know, I want to say that I'm kind of looking at Jalen Suggs. But then Kuminga's interesting. You could even go with a guy like Scotty Barnes. I mean, this guy, he's got a lot of great intangibles to be a good player in the NBA. So I think that Scotty Barnes is a very interesting prospect as well. That's super interesting. I think the Raptors, they have a couple different ways that they could go here. That's really interesting. But at number 3, Cleveland. Here, we're going to go into, actually, just to see, we're going to go into the NBA mock draft simulator lottery, whatever, we'll do that. We'll use my big board, whatever. I just want to see something. So if we get this started, okay, they haven't updated it yet. They haven't updated the order. I just want to go ahead and skip to, so we'll take Cade. We'll take Cade. We'll take Mobley off the board. We'll take Jalen Green off the board. For Oklahoma City, we'll take Suggs off the board. All right. I mean, that doesn't really matter. So, if we're looking at the Cavs at number 5, well, let's see. They don't have number 5. They have number 3. If we're looking at the Cavaliers at number 3, I think that Suggs is a prospect that maybe you look at. I think that's a guy that you could potentially go for. Just with the whole Colin Sexton situation, maybe he isn't. Yeah, AJ. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Maybe you trade Colin Sexton, but also with Kevin Love, maybe you want to go Kuminga, get him at one of these forward spots, and just kind of restart at the front court. But that's assuming that you keep Sexton. If you don't keep Sexton, I think you have to go with Jalen Suggs. So we'll give them Kuminga for the purposes of this. Golden State, we'll just give them, I guess it actually doesn't matter who I give them. So, we're going to do this for you Pac-12. We're going to give them Scotty Barnes. So Toronto here, you've got Kyle Lowry, who is a free agent. You got Fred VanVleet locked up long term. So, maybe you don't really want to go point guard. But then Gary Trent is a free agent. I mean, I could see Toronto at number 4. Depending on who Cleveland goes, though. It really depends on who Cleveland takes. But I think Toronto would be okay with Suggs. I think they'd be okay. I how do we... I think we're just going to have to go through my profile. Hopefully there's no, like, passwords on here or anything. There shouldn't be, but you never know. Now it's just not going to load. Dang, that stinks. Anyways, I think that Toronto would be okay with Suggs. I think they'd be okay with Kuminga. And I think they'd be solid if they had to take Jalen Green as well. So we know Mobley and Cade are most likely going top 2. But after that, it's just kind of up for grabs. But I would say that Toronto would be comfortable with any of those 3 players, and even a guy like Scotty Barnes if you want to throw him in there. But I think that's probably going to be just about it. So anybody that's still here on the stream, if you want me to, I guess, sort of preview your team's favorite pick, we can do that. But if not, wow, Oakland is up 9-0. Wow. I mean, Texas is horrible, but still. I guess that's a little surprising. But I think that's going to be it for the stream. So thank you guys for watching. Let's make sure the description is there. Yep. Alright, so my live streaming channel, my Clemson channel, and my Discord server, all linked in the description as they always are. Leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys showing support, and I appreciate you guys being here for tonight's stream, the NBA Draft Lottery. And this is the draft order. I want to make sure that you guys saw the draft order before you leave. Detroit getting that top pick. Second pick goes to Houston, and then Cleveland, Toronto, getting into the top 4. So Cleveland number 3, Toronto number 4, and then Orlando and Golden State 5 through 14. Orlando number 5, Golden State number 14. Everything that happened in between them. But I think that's gonna be it for the stream. I appreciate you guys coming out and supporting the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. I think most of you guys probably are, but if you aren't, be sure to subscribe if you are new around here. NBA content, NFL content, baseball content, a little bit. I guess this summer we'll probably have more of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I appreciate you guys watching.